Hey guys, what's going on? Andy Elliott, guys. I'm here today with the car wash boss. Hey, by the way, yeah, and you guys if you go to YouTube, you guys can check out his stuff. Cheetah Car Wash.
Cheetah Clean Car Auto Wash.
Cheetah Clean
Auto Wash.
Auto Wash.
At Car Wash Boss on YouTube as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the name of the company that you're with is called what?
Cheetah Clean Auto Wash.
Yes. So I want you guys to know something real quick. This is super cool. And by the way, like say Cheetah Clean Auto Car Wash. Auto Wash. It's 10 times fast.
Tongue twister.
Yeah. Jeff is 46 years old. He's my brother. He's an amazing entrepreneur. He's built a really cool life, and I want him to tell a story. And by the way, the reason why I love telling you guys all these stories and inviting you to meet a lot of my friends is car wash. I mean, who would think a premier car wash would kill it and crush it? He's killing it and crushing it. And I want you to know these little niches are in industries everywhere, and I think a lot of people overlook them because they're small-minded, right?
Absolutely.
I want you to tell your story, how you got into this business, how you blew it up, and I want there's a lot of lessons that you probably learned along the way, things you need to do, things you shouldn't have done, that our audience can learn from when you're going to build a business. I think at the end of everybody's life, either they find someone they want to work for and they build their life in that business, or one day they aspire to open their own business. It's hell opening your own business. It is.
It's tough.
And you learn a lot. And today, I want you to share with where you started, right? And then I want us to share some of the things you learned, some of the things you would have done differently, some of the things that you did right on how you built this massive premium empire car wash machine that's happening now. Is that cool, Jeff?
Absolutely.
All right, man. I'm gonna leave it with you. Let's let it rip and let's change some lives.
Let's go. Appreciate the opportunity, Andy.
You bet.
Come from a small town in Kentucky, Bowling Green, Kentucky, about an hour north of Nashville. I'm a fourth generation entrepreneur. My great grandfather moved from a smaller area in Kentucky, Adair County, Columbia, Kentucky, to Bowling Green, and was doing dry cleaning and laundromat. And he had a vision that he could do it for himself and he could do it better than anyone else. And him and his son, Glenn, which was my grandfather, started their own Fields dry cleaners, Fields laundromat back in 1947. So I tell people, we've been making things clean cool since 1947, cleaning things. That's almost awesome. 100 years.
Yeah.
But each one of us, our forefathers, did it on their own. There's none of this hand-me-down business. We didn't wait for Dad. We didn't live in that shadow. We all broke out and actually competed with our fathers.
Wow.
And so it all started back then, though. My mom and Dad, they split up. Dad got remarried, had a stepmother that got involved early on, showed me discipline.
That's good.
My mother was creative, pushed me into creative opportunities, played piano, got into acting.
You did?
I did, yeah, growing up. And my grandfather, he was kind of a magical dude. He was just like anything he wanted, he did it. He was just a powerful dude. He just, whatever he wanted, he could do it. And they called him heavy. And he was about like my build, but he had a heavy persona. He just did what he wanted to do. And he owned both sides of the street. He built car washes. He did a lot of stuff in South Central Kentucky.
I love you said that he was a powerful man. I kind of want to be. I want people to say those things about me.
Right.
But but when I hear you say that, I'm like, man, dude, that's why you got to go hard in life, man.
Got to go hard, yeah.
Because it isn't about what you say; it's about what others say.
Yeah.
And so I love that, man. That's cool. Yeah. So Big Heavy.
Yeah, Big Heavy, man. He went to Okinawa. It's kind of a interesting story. Was an Army Ranger back when Army Ranger was the baddest of the bad. Yeah. They charged the banks. They was on a weak flank. His platoon got wasted. They dug him out of a foxhole, brought him back to life, got well in Europe. First thing he did when he got well is went and challenged his commanding officer about why I was on that weak flank. Why did all my teammates die?
Wow.
And got an honorable discharge for it. Came back and got into business my grandfather had 8 brothers, sisters, you know, big family, Catholic family. And they all grew up in the business. We got into full service gas station in 1967 there in Bowling Green. And, you know, later in life, I was born in 78. Like I said, had a stepmother, taught me some discipline, make the bed, clean the plate, you know, do your chores. My mom was creative. My dad was one of the hardest working men you'll ever meet, up at sunrise and doesn't stop till the sun sets.
It's amazing.
And grew up around the business, didn't want anything to do with it because, like you said earlier, it's a dirty business, the car wash, man. You know, it's like, who wants to be part of this? And I was into acting and was very successful. One lead role as a freshman in high school. Everybody hated me because I was just a natural at it, and was
probably
good.
helped you really be good at sales.
Absolutely, yeah. I was born on this car wash drive. You know, literally. Dad said, "You learn sales," and I said, "What about fixing?" He said, "You don't need to learn how to fix." He can fix anything.
Yeah.
He said, "You don't need to learn this. You can hire this. You need to learn how to sell."
That's so cool.
And that's where I learned to sell. Was writing with a chalk marker, man. Tender Touch Best, baby. All day.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that was the brand, Tender Touch.
But that's the real hustle.
That was the real hustle, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, back in the day.
Dude, I get excited watching that stuff, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
I can envision you already.
You know, back then, the car wash, full serve, rough business, man, you know.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the podcast. A lot of you are like, dude, I need to connect with this guy, Jeff. Well, this is an easy opportunity for you. Go to Instagram. He's on every channel. What is your YouTube channel?
Car Wash Boss, at Car Wash Boss.
At Car Wash Boss. You guys can go see him on YouTube, but if you want to connect with him, you guys will see his Instagram handle. It's on the screen right now. All you got to do is go to that. You guys can DM Jeff directly. He handles all his own DMs, all his own messages, and he's awesome, man. This guy's full of fire. He's built something really big, and he's totally created a life in an industry that most people wouldn't think of building something in, which means it's everywhere. You just got to look in these little cracks and crevices and all these different businesses around the world. You got to be innovative. You got to be creative. And so I hope Jeff's story today inspires you and motivates you. And if you want to connect with him, DM him on Instagram. Let's get back to the podcast.
A lot of ex-cons, a lot of second chance people. I grew up with those people. Those are my people.
Yeah.
You know, people that, like you say, you comeback kid.
Yeah.
Been through hell and can go.
Yeah, the underdogs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, grew up with that, saw that, lived it, learned a lot about the street life, you know, probably too much, you know, and kind of got deep into that. At 19, I was diagnosed with bipolar. I said, what the hell is this? You hadn't talked to me for 5 minutes. You don't know me, you know, and they wanted to dope me up and make me drool and, you know, tone me down.
I think we're all bipolar.
If you
Honestly,
better be fucking bipolar if you want to do some shit.
I'm going to tell you, dude.
Yeah.
If somebody told me they had ADD, ADHD, and they were bipolar, I'm like, you're blessed.
Yeah, amen. Superpower, baby. Kanye.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's like, dude, you know.
It has been a superpower.
Yeah, you can play multiple different people. Wow.
Well, I can go in overdrive. People can't keep up with me. I got a battery.
Yeah.
People are like, what? Whoa, you're not normal. I'm like,
no,
I don't want to be
unhuman.
normal. Yeah,
you know how to crank that lever up.
Yeah.
And
I
that
hit
volume
that
up
dark side. Tim Grover talks about it.
Yeah.
With all the greats.
Yeah.
They have that dark side. You got
70% of the greatest winners, 70% of those people operate pure darkness.
Absolutely. You gotta go over there and hit it every once in a while. Don't succumb in it. Be able to tap it and get out and do what you got to do. But you got to be able to utilize and leverage it for sure.
That's amazing.
For sure.
Okay.
And so growing up in it, you know, my dad, he's a perfectionist. He doesn't do anything halfway. He doesn't do anything not outstanding. His company's called Awesome Fabricating because everything he does is awesome, you know. Yeah, and you know, when he taught me, you know, he wasn't very much of a mentor, but he was like, look, you know, here's the deal, you know, and I'm gonna show you 1 or 2, 3 times, and that's it, because I'm gonna do you like my dad did me. And you got the opportunity, figure it out, you know. And that was the best thing he ever did for me because it gave me the tool of figuring it out on my own. You know, that was a blessing. You don't want them to babysit you.
Yeah, you didn't want to feed your ice cream. He gave you the cold, hard truth.
Yeah, give them the opportunity and figure it out. You know, and I'm trying to do the same thing with my team now. I'm trying to figure it out, guys. Don't call me about stuff that you know the answer to.
Yep.
Because you got to look inward sometimes, most of the time, really. That's where the answers are.
Yep.
Generally.
Yep.
You know the answer.
That's
we all
right.
know the answer. It's an innate truth.
That's right.
You know, and a lot of people live their life fighting it, hiding it, regressing from it. You know, a lot of what you speak, I mean, you shock people, right?
Yeah.
Because what? They need it.
Yep.
No one's telling them the truth. Grew up with that and got away from it. Went to college, got kicked out of college, thankfully. Got into a fight.
Best thing ever happened.
Best thing that ever happened. Went and did it again. Same thing happened. You know, and really what happened to me at an early age, I was the little kid, you know, the small guy on the playground, and I saw the bully pushing people around. I mean, I don't like that. And one day I went up to him and just said, boom, and it all stopped.
I love that.
It all stopped. And I realized that you can fight ill will in the world if you stand up to it.
Yeah.
And I've never been afraid to get into it, you know. And that's been a blessing and a curse for me, you know. And it's kind of like learning to hit that without going
most people will never stand up for anything.
Right.
And then sometimes we just, you know, need to understand when, you know, we're taking it too far.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's life lessons.
It's life lessons. And so grew up the hard way, you know, went to college, got out. Bipolar, I struggled with that, as anybody would, because it's like, you know, they don't draw a deal and say you got high cholesterol. Mm-hmm. It's all behavioral-based stuff that, in my opinion, is kind of the unknown still, you know. And never really treated the diagnosis with the respect it probably deserved.
Yeah.
And went through life and found success because, I kind of had that overdrive aspect and could shift into high gear and, you know, just outperform everybody. But later on, like, you know, back in 2020, I had a pretty serious deal where I'd never gotten hurt. Nobody had ever gotten hurt. But in 2020, you know, somebody got hurt. And, you know, it was somebody could die from this, you know, which I wasn't treated right. The hospital I went to, the security guard attacked me. The protocols were not followed, and, you know, had to take a charge for that, which I hope one day I'll get that expunged. Mm-hmm. But that put me on a different track, you know. Now,
by the way, this is life, dude. Listen, I always tell people, you know what I love? I love people who are real. You know what I love? I love people that understand that life is a 24/7, 365 mastermind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shouldn't have done that. I should have done that. Shouldn't have been there. Should have been there. Mm-hmm. You know, you just, you know, like, I wish there was some special playbook we all ran and it just guaranteed we would never make a mistake, never do anybody harm, you know, just be guaranteed to succeed. By the way, dude, if somebody told you, like, what to do and you didn't have to ever make any decisions, like, that would suck.
Right.
Like, dude, part of living is making good choices and bad choices. Yeah. You know?
It's the quest, right?
Yeah.
It's like, man, it's a challenge.
Yeah, so I love it. So, like, look, dude, we've all been, you know, charged with certain things. We've all been, you know, I was just talking to a lady, and this is off topic, but there's an amazing mentor, speaker, incredible woman in great shape. She trains thousands of people all around the country. And she used to be an alcoholic. She had 2 DUIs, almost killed someone, and she changed her life. And, you know, like, you just, when she told me that, I thought, I knew you did some shit. That's why you're so cool.
Yeah.
You just couldn't be this good, just not doing something wrong at some point.
Yeah, normal.
Yeah, like, I knew there was some dirt on you. Yeah. And I love it. And once I knew that about her, I loved her 20 times more. Yeah. Because it lets people know we're all human.
Well, it's an example, too. You know, you can go there and come back.
Yeah,
which that's what my life is now.
Being an overcomer.
That you can, because when that happened, everybody said, because Cheetah Clean was big. In the industry.
They said, you're over.
Fuck.
You're over.
Jeff is going to fuck this industry up. And I still will. But when that happened, they said, he's done. And everybody came in my market. People decided to come in my market and try to take it.
I've heard people say he's done so many times in my life.
I've come back, you know.
There's a saying on Dana's White's wall. It says, it says, bet against me. Mm-hmm. It says, may God have mercy on my enemies because I won't.
Right. Amen.
Tell me it won't happen. Yeah. Say it won't happen. I love it. I love every second of it. Yeah. And anyways, that's that dark side.
Yep.
So so that goes down.
Yeah.
Cheetah Clean was open when?
So let me take it back. Let me tell you how I went to college. I had an incident that sent me here to Phoenix, and it was a place that really put me on a real good path. It was called Pathways, and they're based out of here. It was a recovery place, and I have some family out here. I was working for my family. They're in the automotive reconditioning space too, and I got well. And they told me when I got there, I said, "Man, I'm on all this medication. I'm bipolar." They said, "No, you're not. You're coming off all the medication today." And I was like, this, anchor had lifted off of me,
So
and
cool.
I went completely sober and did phenomenal for years. And I got into the hospitality industry. I had an allergic reaction to the resin. My family, they fixed windshields out here, and I had to get into hospitality, which again was a blessing. I worked at Ritz-Carlton, Arizona Biltmore, learned the hospitality trade, and was working, and I called Dad one day, and I had lost my job. I had given a coworker a drink at the bar, and she was at the brink where that one drink took her over the limit, and she acted a fool. And they said, "Jeff, did you give her a drink?" I said, "Yeah, she came to my bar and asked for a drink. I gave her a drink." And they said, "Well, you're fired." This was Marriott. And I said, "Okay,
Damn.
Hey, Dad, what's up?" And he said, "What's going on?" I told him. He said, "You don't have a job." He said, "I need you back here." And I said, "What? You need me?" It was like hairs on the back of the neck. So I flew home and, just got obsessed, got entrenched in the industry, and knew, this is what my calling was at that point. And just went all out, got into the association, networked, went to the shows, just became a geek, man. Just learned
Immersion.
it. And really caught on to a trend, which is what you see now, which is express exterior car washing, where you ride through, there's free vacuums, and they're everywhere. And that was in 2002. And so I was like, "Hey, Dad, this is what we need to be doing." And then he's like, "We've done that. We did that." And then 3 months later, he goes, "Hey, son, this is what we're going to do." And I said,
It's
"Oh,
his
yeah, I like
idea.
you. Still my idea." He was like, "Yeah, whatever." So we did it, though. We were one of the first to bring express car washing back, which is everything's been redone, and, like bell bottoms, the express car wash concept was around in the 60s with the gas stations,
Yeah.
fill up, express wash, free vac. But it came back, and really what helped it come back was the advent of the auto cashier, which is interesting. We'll get into sales, right? Is that they came out with these computers, and they said, "You don't need staff. The computer will sell. It'll upsell. You can put a video, and it'll walk you through and pitch them, and you can do all this." And everybody was like, "This is pretty cool," because you didn't have to have any labor. In a full service, you had to have 40 people to run, and then you can put one of these things in and have literally 2 or 3 people working. And back then it was $3 and free vacuum, so it was low wash price, and convenience and wash counts. And we got into it. We loved it. I loved it. And my stepmother and I, we kind of butted heads, and my dad and we all decided that it was best that we sell the company, that myself and my sister and her husband, Stan, that we were going to buy it. And then I had my daughter, which was out of wedlock,
Yeah.
It was like, and I was so happy when I found out that I was going to be a father, and my family was like, "You're not married," and I didn't care. I was so happy, that I was
That's
going to
awesome.
be a father. And I knew at that point I was not moving. I wasn't going anywhere. I was committed to the car wash in Bowling Green, and I had the vision that I was going to be the car wash leader of that area. And I still have the vision that South Central Kentucky is the place that we will grow out of. And we'll go to Nashville. We'll take Nashville. And we're going to build something out of that area with all these Midwestern kids coming from, wherever, Western Kentucky University, and looking for opportunity. Yeah, come learn how to wash cars. The best car wash, without a doubt. And we're going to grow this thing.
Love
that
it.
was my vision. So, and here we are, 16 years later, almost 20 years later, we've got 7 of 12 car washes in that area. And
That's amazing.
We dominate the space. So it's all about the vision. You got to have that vision, and then you got to execute, and that's what I was a machine. Once I became dedicated, it was over with. And rumored, the competitor was in trouble. We were going to buy the business. Last minute, Dad jacked the price on me, and I lost it. And I walked away from the closing table, and I blew the whole deal up. I'm going to do it on my own. And I did. I went. I had like $5,000, and I'd been washing everybody's car in the town, and they knew that I was a hard worker. I was professional. I was bringing that hospitality edge. They knew that, hey, there's potential in this kid. 25 years old, had a baby, Kaylee, and I was dedicated. And I put $5,000 on 5.5 acres for a car wash development. And the property owner, Lewis Berman, and Kenny Neely, the realtor, said he has the will to figure it out. And I did. I put it under option. I had 120 days, and it was a God thing. The city came to me, said, I want to put a road here. I want to put a traffic light. Family Video bought. Rexel bought. I had 2 lots free and clear, and I still couldn't close it. And this was before I even had to buy it.
Wow.
And so I was looking like Juan Don superstar, right? And I was going around town, and I was soliciting this deal. And I came in one day. I was on my I had a detail shop. I took my detailing business out on my own. Was doing like 20, 30 grand a month in detail. Came in, had my slide deck, threw it on the deal. Nobody's going to give me equity in the deal. Everybody wants to give me a job. And she said, I might be interested. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. And then I come to find out her husband had passed away, that she had gotten some life insurance money, and, she had the financial means to take this deal down.
Wow.
And so then I was like, how do I close this? And it was, again, just the will, right? And it was like, she said, my brother's coming in. I met with her brother. Boom, closed. Okay, next. Barb, let's go. Barb, let's go. And, and it was a hard close. And we did. And then my dad comes to me because at this point he had sold his car wash to another company. And they had made him sign a non-compete or whatever. And so they got word that I was going to build, and they were like, you can't let your son build. And he was like, I'm not helping him. He's doing it on his own. And they were like, we don't care. We're going to sue you, and if you don't stop him. So Dad came to me and said, hey, stop. I'll help you outside of Bowling Green. And so he had this lot in Owensboro, which is about an hour away. And he was like, you go over there, you build there, I'll help you there. And then, you have your lot here in Bowling Green, and you can come back, and then we're out of the non-compete, and, we'll be out of trouble, and we can get back together. Because for 1 year, we didn't talk. It was rumored I was written out of the will. There was no Christmas. It was a tough year. But, luckily Barb came through, and said, I'll do this with you. We went to Owensboro. We built the first express wash in 2007. Boomed. I mean, it boomed hard, man. And then 2008 happened. And it was like, everything changed. And then she got a boyfriend. Her boyfriend got involved. We didn't get along. I started my legal battle. She kicked me out. And then I went to work for another guy in Nashville, Eric Lohman, who's a partner still to this day. And I was laying up in the bed, crying, feeling sorry for myself. And this is, again, Dad. And he had an opportunity. And so I went to work and rebounded. And Eric helped me through the lawsuit. Ended up getting $500,000. And
wow.
I bought my first car wash for $600-something thousand.
Good job.
In 2000. And that was 13. 2007 was the beginning of Cheetah Clean. 2013 was when it was all mine, 100%.
Yeah.
I had no partners, and I got to do what I've done, and I built that slowly, up to 6 units, and then that event happened, and then I sold 2 units. Never had any money, but I sold 2 units for like 10+ million, and I was like, whoa, 7-8 figures in a bank account. Never knew what that was like,
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, and then I decided, again, coming from the full service industry, I wanted to build what I had seen. I've been to Europe, and I saw this amazing car wash that was like interior belt cleaning. I mean, it was so sophisticated. I was like, I'm going to do that in Bowling Green. And I convinced my dad to take a trip with me, and he stepped up because nobody would touch me after this event. it said I did whatever, and I was like radioactive. So he signed with me. Biggest car wash in Kentucky, the highest volume car wash as far as dollars, probably within a 2 or 3 hour radius. I mean, it's a monster. It washes 15 to 20,000 cars a month.
Wow, that's insane.
$3-4 million a year, and so then we did that, and then I was sitting there trying to figure out how do I continue to grow this. After that event, again, nobody would touch me, right? Banks I'm surprised they didn't call my notes. And so then I'm sitting there and we're banging around, and Rob Porter, he's an advisor friend, has helped me tremendously. We got a LinkedIn message from a private equity group in Kentucky. We had talked to all kinds of people all over the world. Ended up having a call get intercepted, and some of my team left me and went and started their own thing. That's how good working for me is. I'm gonna show you how to do this, And they went on. They've built a successful chain.
Yeah.
But this call comes in, says, "Hey, man, we want to inject capital. We want to grow this thing." And it was local to Kentucky. We met, and boom, we did it. And Jeff Fields and Cheetah Clean is now at the top again.
Wow.
Saying you can't be stopped, unstoppable.
Well, if everybody listens to this, first and foremost, number one, this is the life of how business really works. You just laid out the A to Z of being a business owner.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm being for real. Like everybody
we were
needs
open
to
on
understand.
Thanksgiving just to make payroll.
Yes, and and people say, well, I wouldn't do it then. I know that's why a lot of people don't. I mean, it's
not logical.
Yeah,
right?
it's hard. I mean, honestly, they say opening your business shortens your lifespan by at least 5 to 8 years. Just because of all this crap that you go through.
Hopefully you can afford stem cells, though, maybe.
Yeah, but good thing I'm on stem cells. I'm going to live to be 297.
Dan Pena.
Yeah. But I do want to say that, Jeff, just hearing your story, and by the way, Jeff is very raw. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to tell you guys, this is important, because that's not me being negative. That's just me being honest. That everything that he said is the reality of owning a business. Now, can you have the best team in the world? Yes, he's got an amazing team. Can you have the right people? You notice his father's been by his side every step of the way. You and Dad always came back together, right?
Yeah. Let me add too that how bad it was. At one point, when I did it, I did my own deal. I was undercapitalized, and Eric was my partner. It was a partner or whatever. He said, "You're undercapitalized." I said, "What?" I was offended. I was like, "Undercapitalized, man. I can't be stopped." And I literally sat in that car wash 80, 120, 150 hours a week. Got sick, had a recliner, would lay there, wait for the conveyor to shut off, and get up and go get it going again when I was inoperable, like I couldn't function. Yep. And then worked so hard, got ulcerative colitis. Bipolar, ulcerative colitis. That's what you're gonna have to do. I know that doesn't sound great.
No,
right? It's a reality.
Listen, here's the deal. So first of all, we've got to be clear and make sure everybody knows this video is only for the true 1%ers. Okay, that's super important. And the reason why I say so, Patrick Bet-David says, when he built his company, he sold his insurance company for $300 million.
Yeah.
He said he worked so hard that he worked himself to being hospitalized.
Yep.
And he said,
awesome.
He said, nobody's going to do that. And that's why no one gets that. I want to tell you, man, this is why it's important to take good care of yourself. This is why it's important to be around the right people. This is why it's important to never quit. You wouldn't be where you're at if you never quit. And you're always going to have obstacles. You're always going to have tough things come up. You're always going to have, crazy stuff, go on. And so, I just want to say, super important, number one, Jeff, the picture that you painted today is the most rawest form of entrepreneurship, which, by the way, you lasted and you made it. Now, even till this day, 46 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you got another 40 years of this.
I hope.
And I know. And you're built for this.
Absolutely.
I know you're built for this. And I think that each time that you did this, you found a way to do it a little better the next time. Mm-hmm. Treat people a little better the next time. Mm-hmm. Make better decisions with partners a little better the next time.
Absolutely.
Everything gets a little better, a little better, a little better, a little better. And by the way, that is the quest of greatness.
Absolutely.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Jeff, if somebody wants to follow you on Instagram, you guys can DM them. You guys can reach out to them. I know his story today resonated with a lot of you. I know there was a lot of you that was like, should I quit? And you're like, after listening to Jeff's stuff, I'm never going to quit. And like Jeff's a good reminder of what winning recognizes. Winning recognizes people who don't quit. Winners live where quitters quit. Love it,
traded
man.
for the world, man.
Yeah, you are the true comeback kid, big dog.
I
love it, man.
Thank
Hearing
you.
his story today was awesome. He's going to be with me a lot. He's my brother, so the next time we're around, we'll tell more Jeff stories. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Jeff's
There's a lot of them.
Jeff's got some stories. So Jeff, we love you, man. Appreciate you, brother. And guys, we'll see you in the next podcast. Let's go.
Hey guys, looks like you made it to the end of the video. You're the true 0.0001%ers. Look, I know 1%ers that can make it halfway through the video, but making it all the way through, you guys are the best. Now, here's what I'd like to do. Number one, I want to get closer to you. The fact that you made it all the way through the video, you're like, man, dude, I want to roll with this guy. Okay, so I need to connect with you. Down below, there's a description box on this YouTube video. There's a link. It says Coach with Me one-on-one, okay? If you'll go and you'll enter your information, I'll reach out to you in the next 24 hours. You can tell me what you need help with, what your goals are, and we will crush it together. I would love to help you guys go to the next level in life. You can tell I'm changing my life really fast, and I know that you guys want the same thing. I'd love to go with you on that journey. So right now, if you'd like to partner with me, team with me, if you want me to help coach you and push you, everybody needs a coach, a higher level of accountability to go to the next level. Go to the description box below, click on the link, fill out your information. I'll talk to you in the next 24 hours. Let's kill it.